hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in again. Hopefully, because this is my third review for today. This is my review for. Wait, did I finish it all out? I'm sick, so my mind ain't working. I don't know if I went through the whole little spiel that I usually do. Let me start that over. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review, my third review for today, even in my sickness, for Teen Mom 2, Season 8, Episode 16. And this episode, a lot didn't happen in my personal opinion. I think the biggest thing was probably Briana's story. So let's just go ahead and get into it. As y'all know, I go one by one. Kailyn is in St. Thomas, pregnant and all. She's 35 weeks pregnant, and she's noticing that her feet and her hands are swelling. Now, when I heard that, I'm like, she probably doing too much. You know what I'm saying? She probably walking around too much. She's not rested enough, so the blood isn't flowing properly through her whole body. Again, you are 3 months. You are 35 weeks pregnant. And as we know, when women get further along in their pregnancy, their feet do out the blue swell. But Kale was like, I hope I don't have preeclampsia. And I don't know what that was probably for. She hopes she does not have preeclampsia, and she's kind of getting worried. And so that was her whole thing, was, that she's in where was she at? She's in St. Thomas. Yes, I have tissue sitting on standby. And the producer's like, okay, we're going to get a doctor to come see you. So, a doctor does come and was asking her different questions. Like, she's like, my hands are a little bit swollen. My feet are swelling up. And they're like, well, is your face swelling? And she said, yeah, my whole face is swollen. But, not to be petty, Kale's face has always been pudgy. So, I didn't notice her face being swollen. I don't know if she said that to be joking and then the nurse took her serious. I mean, her feet were definitely swollen. Her hands looked a little swollen too. But I just felt like maybe she was just walking around too much and she wasn't relaxing enough and getting enough rest for her body. 35 weeks, you're up there. So they said, okay, you have to go to the ER just to be sure that it's not preeclampsia. So, she has like a friend stay at the hotel with the boys, and, her and the producer go to the ER. And, come to find out it was not preeclampsia. They did all kind of different tests, and she's basically okay. She just needs to rest. Like I thought from the beginning. But, with pregnant, you can never be too sure. So, it's always better to be safe than sorry. So, yeah. The producer then asked her, like, well, did you call Chris to let him know what was going on? And she's like, yeah. He didn't answer, he didn't respond, and that was 2 hours ago. And she's like, he's probably with his other girlfriend. And I'm like, other girlfriend? First of all, I could never say that my baby daddy must be with his other girlfriend. Because my thing is, I could never be one of a girlfriend. I mean, I would be like, he must be with his girlfriend. Because obviously, we're not together if he has another girlfriend to even be with. So, I mean, I really think the reason he doesn't want to be on this show, and maybe the reason she also is not having him on Teen Mom, is because he's a player. You know what I'm saying? He's a cheater, or he dates different women. Because once you see him on the show, his life will forever be different, and any female that he's dealing with would be able to contact her or just say crazy stuff or do whatever. But that's why you should be careful who you have babies with, So that was Kale's whole story, that she is perfectly fine. She'll be able to fly home. She would not have to have her baby in St. Thomas, because again, if she had preeclampsia and they had to induce her labor, her baby would have been born there. But she's okay. But the baby daddy didn't answer the call or didn't respond to the text that she did 2 hours ago, letting him know that she was in the hospital because, as Kale said, he was with his other girlfriend. Girl, Kale, how they say people are smart but stupid? Like, Kale is the smartest, stupid person I know. She's book smart. She's school smart. She is very determined to be better than, what her future could have been, seeing that she was a teen mom. but she still makes dumbass personal decisions. Um, and I think it comes from a place of her still being in one way or the other selfish and continually only wanting what she wants. Cause I just can't imagine myself being laid up in the hospital bed seeing somebody with a other girlfriend. Because that means in some aspect you acknowledge that he has someone else. Just crazy. So Audrey's story, of course, is always simple and easy. Not Audrey, Chelsea. Chelsea's story is always simple and easy. Audrey started second grade. That was about it. She is still planning her reception. That was about it. They're just putting a tent up. Want to have a good DJ and good food and good drinks because she wants it to be worth it for the people who are driving up or flying up or coming to the reception. And I completely get that because who wants to drive up for a reception if you don't at least have enough seats or enough food or enough drinks for people to enjoy themselves with? I could have stayed at home. Last she talked to two different friends, but still quick conversations. She talked to one friend whose name was also Chelsea, just talking about how she's going to meet with a lawyer to get Aubrey's name changed. And just not even changed. She wants to have it hyphenated to include Cole's last name because Cole is her husband. That's her last name. That's her husband's last name. That's her son's last name. And it is hard when you're the only person in that family who doesn't have the same name. It can make you feel like you're not a part of the family. And Aubrey's a smart little girl. I think she's like 7. So I think it makes sense that she feels like it'll be better for her too. Even though she's young and people say, well, you can't let a child make that kind of decision. She's not 3. You know what I'm saying? She's old enough to know this is my last name. My mom has this last name. My brother has this last name. My stepdad, who is my dad, because he's in the house, he does everything dads do. That's his last name. I'm the only oddball out here. So I think that's a great thing. She then talks to a separate friend after going to talk to her lawyers who says it shouldn't be that hard to get it changed because she's not taking away his name. She's just hyphenating it. And supposedly his lawyer has issues getting Adam, the boyfriend, the baby daddy. His own lawyer has trouble getting in contact with him. So I think it's a thing where if he doesn't respond appropriately or whatever, she wouldn't need his permission to hyphenate it, So, that's a good thing. That was Chelsea's whole story. Leah's story as well was very easy. It was just her trying to make sure that she is splitting her time equally between her 3 daughters. That's why I say people, you shouldn't have too many children too young. Not even too young, but, when you have 3 kids who are so close in age, they all want the same attention, so to speak. They're all at that age where they're like, mommy, mommy, mommy. Whereas if you had maybe a 10-year-old and then a 5-year-old, sometimes the 10-year-old isn't so, mommy, mommy, mommy. But when you have, I swear the kids look like they can be triplets, okay? They all look the same age, except Aaliyah is taller. But Leah's talking to her mom just about how the girls feel how, basically, no, let me say it the right way. They were at the pool or whatever, and Leah wanted Allie to put on, my nose is itching, it's crazy. Leah wanted Allie to put on a life vest simply because she gets tired. She's not weaker, but if she can overexert herself. And just to be safe, it's better for her to have on a life jacket. She didn't want to do that simply because she wanted to feel like the other girls and the other kids who did not have to wear one. So of course she was crying or whatever. So Leah just had to have a conversation with her, like, it's for your safety. Your sister doesn't have to wear one because she's taller, and it's not, anything like that. The younger sister, I think it was Aaliyah. I don't know the youngest one's name. The youngest one, who I can't think what her name is right now, has to wear one too. And Allie's like, well, yeah, but I'm older than her. And she's like, it has nothing to do with age. It's just what has to be. And she kind of talked to her, and at the end, Allie gets it and she's not happy about it, but she understands it and she stops crying. So when Leah is then talking to her mom, like, yeah, we're going to go to the amusement park and I want to spend some time, one-on-one time with Leah so that she doesn't feel left out or like she doesn't get special attention. She's like, but I also need her to understand that, Allie physically needs more attention because she literally has a disability. So we have to pay attention to her. It's not that we can fix what's wrong with her. This is just going to be her life. So our mom said, but yeah, that'll be good if you, spend some time along with her. So that way she can also have as much fun as she wants. Because she's like, I want to take her on some rides that the other girls can't ride. So her mom was like, well, yeah, that makes sense because it will mean that she is not being limited to what she's able to do or allowed to do based on what her sisters can't do. And that's great that the mom said that and that Leah thought about that, because that's true. Just because her sister might not be able to get on certain rides, it does not mean that she shouldn't be able to do it. Because at that point, you are limiting one child based on the other child's disability. So, you just don't want any of them to feel left out. So, they go to the music park, they'll have a good time. They show her on the ride with Aaliyah by herself, and they show her taking all three of them on a different ride, and them just having fun. So, that was basically all for Leah's thing. Just showing how she's balancing, spending time with the girls. Janelle's is pretty easy, too. She got Jace. Barb had her own party. Janelle's having her own party. I think it's dumb they're having two separate parties because Jenelle is petty and immature. I think if Jenelle wasn't so hateful towards Barb, they could honestly coexist. And I don't even mean that she has to love Barb with all her heart, but my thing is you should still be able to coexist with your mother for the sake of your child. But, it is what it is. So, but it was funny because Jenelle did she pick him up? Her and Jason in the car going somewhere. She tells Jason they're going to go to New York. The next time she gets him to go look at her wedding dress and everything. And she asked Jace to walk her down the aisle, which was really cute because he was like, I can do that. And she's like, yeah, because my father can't do it. So, who else would be here to give me away to David? And he's like, well, how do I give you to him? It's like, well, walk me down the aisle, you put my hand in his, and then you go stand next to David. And, he's like, okay, cool. He then says, I don't want you David to get married. And he said it like, whatever. And she was like, I think she was waiting for him to say, just kidding. I guess he does that. He'll say, JK for just kidding. I don't know if it was editing, if they waited to show him say it, but he didn't say it instantly. He did wait, a little, maybe like 20, 30 seconds. And then he said, oh, I'm just kidding. And you can tell that she looked a little like, is he serious? Does he really mean that? He says, well, David's nice. And he was like, yeah. But Jake says, yeah, to anything. Jake, you hungry? Yeah. This is hot? Yeah. This is cold? Yeah. He says yes to whatever. And I feel like he says yes based on how the person asks him a question. A person can ask a question in a way that they want you to say yeah. And they can ask your question in a way where they want to say no. And I think he kind of picks up on that sometimes. So, we had that whole thing. When Janelle's taking Jace back to Barb, she brings up that she's taking him out of the state the next time that she sees them, that the next time that Janelle will have her. And then she's like, well, where are you guys going? Oh, we're going to New York. And she's like, well, for what? Oh, to go pick out my wedding dress. The wedding dress designer called and said blah, 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 blah. And Barb was like, I'm not invited to the wedding, so I don't want to talk about it. And then Janelle was like, oh, will you ask Papa Brooke? She's like, yeah, I'm not going, so I don't care. Well, not I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. She then brings up, Jace has a prescription to go see a psychiatrist now. And then Janelle's like, well, how was he getting medication if he wasn't seeing a psychiatrist before who was prescribing him this medication? And then she was like, oh, it came through the pediatrician because he was seeing a psychologist who diagnosed him with ADHD And then because of the psychologist diagnosed him with ADHD, the pediatrician then prescribed the medication for that diagnosis. You can tell Jenelle wasn't listening at all because she went on a whole little rant. But see, that is crazy. He's been on medication for mental stuff for a whole year, and the pediatrician should not be able to prescribe that kind of medication. You know, a pediatrician is not a mental doctor. And I'm like, Jenelle, bitch. And that's true, I'm sorry. But, bitch, you not even listening to what she said. Her exact words were, he was diagnosed with ADHD by a psychologist. A psychologist is a PhD doctor who can specialize in mental health and I work in that field, so you can't tell me nothing. I'm like, when did Jenelle become a goddamn on wizard in medication, mental health, and doctors and what they can and can't do? And then to make it seem as if something was done wrong and like he should have never been on medication for a year because he wasn't seeing a psychiatrist. A psychologist and a psychiatrist are two different types of doctors, but either one can diagnose a person, a child, with different disorders. And once the person has a diagnosis for certain stuff, their pediatrician can prescribe them medication for that diagnosis. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it can happen. The reason he's probably going down to a psychiatrist is because his mental state is getting worse as far as him having the angry, aggressive outbursts. So when she was getting mad at Barb, like, if it was me and if I was the one handling this would have never happened. And Barb was like, wait, no, let me finish. And she wasn't listening. She just kept saying, a pediatrician should have never gave him the medication. Da, 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 da. But my thing is, how did you not know for a whole year who was giving your son medication? So why you acting like Barb's at fault or whoever else is at fault? You didn't know for a whole year who he was getting medication from or where it came from. You're just not figuring this out now. But again, you weren't listening to Barb because she said it came from a psychologist. Oh, it made me so mad. So when Barb kept saying, well, let me finish, and Jenelle just kept yammering, Barb was like, Jenelle. She's like, why are you yelling? Calm down, dude. And I'm like, first of all, I hate when people call their parents dude. It just aggravates me. And she's like, you're getting loud. We're not going to fight. She's like, I'm not trying to fight with you, but I need you to let me finish my sentence and let me talk. Because she wouldn't let her talk. And that's what Jenelle does. Jenelle likes to pick fights with Barb. She do. I mean, I really think she do. And when she do it, she try to make it seem as if Barb is the one that's at fault for the argument or the discussion. But my thing is, I think people can have a conversation and it's not an argument if y'all have two different points of view. But I also think you have to let the person talk. And she wouldn't let Barb talk. And then she said, I'm not talking to you no more. I'm not doing that. She said there are fans behind you freaking out. They panned to the fans. It was two random black people who looked like they were at least 100 feet away. They weren't like coming up or walking up. They were at like a gas station parking lot. But it wasn't as if people were, like it was a crowd of people. It was two random black people, and they showed them standing like at the gas station, and they were like way across the way. I think one of them had a phone in their hand, the other one they was looking at each other. And my thing is, I wouldn't even say they were fans. I feel like, I'm sorry y'all. I feel like in society or just in whatever, when you see two people talking and anybody's getting loud, you look. I mean, you do. It doesn't mean that they know who you are and they're fans and they're trying to, no, Jenelle caused the scene. Because if she would have just stopped and listened to Barb, Barb would not have had to keep saying, Jenelle, wait, Jenelle, listen, Jenelle, let me talk. But Jenelle is an asshole, so we're going to let that be that. And that's how that ended. Jenelle was like, I'm not doing this. Jace gets in the car, but he doesn't want to get in the car. He wants to go get some stuff from the gas station or whatever. And Barb's like, no, I'm getting Pizza Hut. And he don't want Pizza Hut. And he getting mad, and Jenelle had to make him get in the car. It was just, it was a lot to go through it. But, that was Janelle's whole thing. So, last but not least, Briana. We found out that Stella, Briana's youngest daughter, the new baby, has 3 holes in her heart. So sad. But she also says how the doctor said, a lot of babies or people are born with holes in their heart. They just have to monitor it. make sure the holes don't get any bigger. They have to watch out for certain things like her breathing and if she seems too tired, if she's turning blue, and things like that. She does say how she has to call Lewis to tell him what's going on. You know, her sister's sitting there all shocked, like I can't believe it. Her sister for a little while was, you know, petty too, saying, you got to tell them because the hospital bills are going to get, you know, out of control. And my thing is, I don't want to hear that at this moment. I feel like her mother and her sister make her realize at every moment how bad her situation is. You know, she has 2 kids. She probably can't afford. And I say that because she lives in a 3-bedroom apartment with her mother and her sister and her 2 kids. And I feel like if she was in a better financial state, she would at least be in a 2-bedroom apartment of her own. So I feel like they all like to be dependent on each other. And that's just what it seems to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Brianna's ever moved out. I have no idea. I don't know if she had to move back in with her mom because of, you know, dire circumstances, because stuff like that happens. What I do know is you are living with someone else, okay? And I feel like her mom and her sister are consistently bringing up what's wrong. I would have waited to bring up the hospital bills, but that's just my personal opinion. So the sister's, you know, saying whatever she's saying, and she's cussing and fussing, and the mom was like, be quiet, Nova's right here. And I'm like, oh, now y'all care about Nova being right there. Y'all cuss and fuss and dog her father and dog Lewis and dog whoever else y'all want to dog in front of Nova. So that thing that the sister is saying is surprising, because that's how y'all talk around her all the time. I'm pretty sure once she's a teenager, she's going to be exactly like y'all. It's going to be the exact same thing. And it almost is sad because it's like a weird, angry cycle. You know what I'm saying? It's the weirdest shit ever. I wouldn't even want to be engulfed in that negativity. I wouldn't want my child to be around my sister who, you know, cusses and fusses in front. My nephew is 11, and he has never heard me cuss. Yes, we have gotten into arguments, you know, me and my sister or whatever, so he's heard people raise their voices, but it's never really in front of him. If he's like downstairs, you know, because sisters have arguments, you know what I'm saying? Well, we're not perfect, but we are always conscious of where my nephew is and what he hears, because he's a child, and you never want a child to have the thought process of yelling and cussing and fussing and fighting. That's just what we do. That my parents fussed and fought. My mama, my sister fussed and fight. No, but that's what Nova's going to see. Nova's going to see that her mother, her grandmother, and her auntie always was fussing and fussing at someone. Okay? And she's going to learn that. Oh my God, my nose. Okay, I'm back, Lord Jesus. So yeah, you don't want, you know, Nova's going to be that way when she's older if they don't change something quick. Okay? Quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, next we see how how Briana saying how Lewis has not been over since he left the house that night. That he has not been over since she was in the hospital. Where she has talked to him, and he is currently in truck driving school. So that's why he hasn't been over. So she's like, you know, I talked to him, you know, but he didn't ask enough questions. I feel like he doesn't care. And I respect that's how she feels, because you would think if your child is a newborn, the mom says, you know, she has 3 holes in her heart, that he would say, well, how is she? Like, you would think he would have more questions, but, you know, she doesn't say what questions he did ask. She just said which questions he didn't. So, you know, that probably we'll never know. The next thing that we see is Lewis is coming over. You know, he's finished the part of his truck driving training and everything. He like got his maybe his license or whatever for it. And next he'll be able to go learn things like on the actual trucks and big rigs. He walks in with 2 boxes of diapers. So I'm like, okay, you know, that's something. You know, we have to give credit where credit is due. When a person doesn't do anything and they do something, just say thank you for it. Even though he should be bringing it over, anyway. There's nothing wrong with saying, oh, thanks, okay. Because he's still helping. You know what I'm saying? He's still learning how to be a help. So he comes and he gets the baby and everything. He's like, how's she doing? So she's doing okay. She's doing better now, but we have to still watch for A, B, and C. He does say how he has finished. She says how truck driving school going. He's like, I finished it. So within the next week, I'll be learning on the truck. She lets him know, I need you to be around more. You can be more involved. She has every right to say that to him. Says, we kept her for a reason. That's the reason why we did not go through the adoption route. And if you wanted me to keep her so that you could be a father, you need to do that. And he was like, you know what? I have no excuse for why I haven't been doing that. He said something about how his hours changed so he would be able to come around more during the day, so he'll come over a couple times within the week. And she's like, okay. They had a civilized conversation. She voiced her opinion on what she felt like he should do. He heard what she said, accepted that he hasn't been doing enough, and said, you're absolutely right. It didn't seem awkward. It didn't seem hostile. It seemed very cordial. And it seemed like it was a starting point. But here comes Briana mama. She come in the house. Nova's sitting there chilling. Briana's chilling. I think Briana's friend is there chilling. Louis is holding, he's with the baby. Her mama walk in. Hey, everybody. I don't think Louis said hello back. I don't think they like each other. She didn't say, hey, Louis. And he said, hey, what's up? And she then goes in on him. Where have you been? Why did you leave? She instantly starts questioning him. And it's like, he look at her like she's a little bit crazy because he's asking her stuff that him and Briana has already had conversations about. And that's Briana's fault because Briana needs to let her mom know, ask me first if we had a conversation. Because if me and him have already talked, you don't need to talk to him right now. You know what I'm saying? First, because my thing is, if you come to me and say, did he say something yet? Did you talk about it? And then I say, no, he won't talk about it. If she wanted to then cut into him, by all means, grandma, cut it to him. But you came in the house not even asking your daughter what had transpired before you got there. You came in with your negative energy. And you did. And, when she's questioning him, he's kind of staying quiet. And I feel like the reason he's staying quiet is because he don't want to be disrespectful. I think he wants to respond to her in the same manner that she's coming at him. But he know that ain't gonna make it no better. So when you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say nothing at all. He looks at her and just keeps patting the baby, and he stays calm, and he's like not even acknowledging the bullshit she throwing his way, cause she poking him, and she fucking poking him. And he said, she said, why did you leave that night? He was like, I left that night because I was just fed up. I was tired. I was over it, so I left because it was just too much. It was too much because of you. Because then she said, you left because I checked you and I went off on you and I called you out and you didn't like it. You thought, who is this bitch? Well, I'm Briana's mama and I'm Stella's grandma and I'll always be that. You out of line, lady. You out of line only because your daughter is an adult. Now, unless you're doing this because she's in your household, now that I get. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But you not making the situation any better simply because him and Briana had already had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And you can't make, and the reason he be leaving is because you do shit like that. I see exactly the reason he left. Because my thing is, he can't even defend himself to you because you gonna say he being rude or disrespectful. So he can't even really respond back to you because you being rude to that man. You really are. And that's how I'm like, because Briana lived there with her mom. She doesn't have her own. Her mama and her sister's always involved in her business. That's just what it is. You can tell she's trying to push his buttons. You can tell she don't give a fuck. And she doesn't care that she's defending him. She then says, I just want to know what you think about that. About me being a mama and the grandmama. What you think about that? If you're thinking anything, you might not be thinking anything. Says how, what else did she say? As she's talking, he's staying quiet. And I'm like, because he don't want to go off. She then gets mad because he's quiet. You're like a zombie, you know, you don't give a fuck, you're a punk. I'm like, and then Nova's there. This is all the same. This is the reason why he leave. Because this is how, who wants to come around that kind of negativity? Who wants that kind of negative energy in their space? I wouldn't come around either. I wouldn't. I would stay away because your mama is consistently in my face, and she does not have to be. And Briana, for the first time, did the right thing, and she said, you know, I don't want this to happen every time he comes over here. And she said that to her mother because her mother was going at him, and I think she noticed her mama was wrong because you walked into this house. We was calm, cool, and collected. We was chilling. You came in on that bullshit, ma. You really, really did, and you made the air more tense. And when she was calling him a punk and how saying he ain't, you know, he doesn't give a fuck, you know, and Brianna said, Mom, just don't talk about it anymore. Lewis gave Brianna the baby, and he got up and he left. Because why would I want to be here? Your mama is crazy. Your mama keeps fucking with me. And even when me and you have a good conversation and I do the little bit that I can, because again, I'm just starting truck driver school. I brought you back to diapers. I'm trying to be here. But if your mom keeps fucking with me, I'm not going to come over here anymore. And that's what it's going to be. And I'm not saying that's right. But I'm saying, again, like I said last time, Brianna's mother and her sister are going to make her be forever a single parent. Because no one's going to deal with that shit. Nobody. That's why she's single. Honestly. Her mom's single, it looks like. It seems like her sister's single. It's like 3 single women in the household. And then Brianna has 2 kids. Break the fucking cycle. You know, just let your mom know. Don't check your mom, but let her know, Mom, before you before you lay into him, just talk to me first. Ask me if me and him have already had a conversation. And if I say yes, then let me handle that. You know what I'm saying? Don't go in on him. If I say no, then Mama, you go ahead, do you. But she don't do that. She come in on 10. It was just, oh my God, it was so crazy. But that was the whole episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I am Jay Lee. This is Jaylee's Corner. Until next time, people.